we go. All right. So finding a comfortable seat. Have your things, like I said, bolsters, pillows, blankets, towels, whatever you have. Perfect. All right. And then finding the evenness through your sitting bones. So maybe rock a little side to side. Maybe notice how your pelvis is oriented. Does it feel like you are curving that low back under? Are you scooping the pelvis under so you're putting a really, like a big curve in your low back and you're kind of slumping forward? Go ahead and sit up a little bit taller. So move those sitting bones down. Try to tilt your pelvis forward like you're evening it out. Think of like my cup right now. I want my cup even so nothing falls out the front or the back. So think about that's what you're doing to your pelvis right now, evening it out. All right, so sitting up nice and tall. Bring your shoulders over your hips. And yes, I have missed you too, right? We didn't have class Friday or Sunday. So it's been a couple of weeks since we have met. So thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for showing up for this practice. And as you bring your shoulders over your hips, can you bring some softness to your arms and to your hands? Do you notice, are you making fists with your hands and your fingers? Can you relax them? And then you decide if you would like to have the palms facing up, if you are in receiving mode, if you're needing some energy, or palms down if you need more grounding. Maybe your mind has been jumping from thought to thought and you need to just kind of get back into your body. It's a nice way to sense the body with the hands facing down and the palms connecting with your body. And then begin to allow the eyes to soften or close if they aren't already. Bring some softness to your facial features, your jaw, your tongue, your throat, your eyes. And then once everything has become very still, your seat is comfortable, begin to notice the breath. Notice that breath as it begins. Follow it all the way through the top of the inhale. And then notice the slight pause. And the exhale begins. Gently pulling the belly in towards your spine. And then continue that breathing pattern, just allowing the body to fill with breath. Maybe the belly expands a little bit with the breath, creating space. And that's what we're doing here. We're creating space with the breath in the body. And then just briefly scan through your body before we start the practice. If there's anywhere else in your body that you're noticing tension or something that you maybe want to pay a little bit more tender love and care to. Stay for 2 more breaths. Good. And then as you exhale, just gently blink open your eyes, but keep your gaze down towards the floor in front of you. And then as your eyes adjust, gently blink them open and then lift your chin. Give your fingers a little wiggle. And then maybe just a little movement side to side, just shifting around. If you want to take some circles, might feel good. I know I feel like I haven't moved my body in the ways it really probably needed to in the last couple of days. So this is feeling really nice just before we start any holds. So go the other way if you're taking those circles. I'm just kind of moving my torso around in a circle. So I'm not keeping my spine super straight at all. I'm allowing my spine to have that flexibility going left to right, forward and back, and then in this kind of circular motion. Good. And maybe just a couple little seated cats and cows. We'll get into some neck stuff too. Good. So as you inhale, bring the heart forward. Exhale as you round your spine. Look in that triangular area in between your legs, and then just keep moving with your breath for a couple more cats and cows. Good. All right. Very nice. Switch the crossing of your shins. We've been here for a little bit, so let's just bring a little bit different sensation to the legs, especially if you feel like you're starting to get a little antsy sitting here. Let's clasp the hands, take the palms, face them towards you. So connect the webbing of all fingers all the way down, and then bring the hands right to the forehead. So begin to press the hands into the head and press the head into the hands. So this is going to release some of this tension you might be feeling. So we have two opposing forces, right? The head going forward, the hands pushing back on the head. If you notice, your head hopefully is not moving if you're using the same amount of force from each side, right? This is how we're not moving. The hands are pushing just as much as the head is pushing forward. Good. Don't forget to breathe. Good. And then as you exhale, release, soften, release the hands. Good. Turn your head a little bit side to side. And then let's bring the head into some circles, going one direction. Inhale as the nose comes up. And then when it's at high noon, that's when the exhale starts as you round down. So half circle inhale, half circle exhale. Good. Next time your chin is at your chest, go ahead, reverse those head circles. And we still have one more side to do. We press the head forward, now we have to press the head back. And I just wanted to take a little movement here in between the front and the back of this exercise. Okay, one more time, bringing the chin towards your chest. Good. Inhale, bring your head up. Okay, clasp your hands the other way if you can recall which way you did it the first time. And then now take the hands behind the head and then press the head backward and press the hands forward. So the head should not be moving and the hands will not be moving because you're using the same amount of force, the same amount of energy, right? Looks so easy, but I know you're applying that force. I know you're doing it. Otherwise, you'd be moving all around. Take a few more breaths here. See how open you can keep the elbows. Might make it a little bit more challenging. So keep pressing. Keep breathing. 2 more breaths here. You should be shaking. Good. And then on your exhale, begin to soften and release. Good. Now bring your chin up towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, bring your chin towards your chest. A little flexion and extension of the head. So inhale brings your chin up. Exhale brings your chin down. 3 more. Keep moving with your breath. Keep moving with your breath. Oh my goodness, I have maintenance. Hold on. Hi, are you guys coming right now?
I check the leak, the valve.
Can you come back on Monday? Because I'm doing a class right now. I'm live right now.
Okay.
Monday?
Okay.
Okay, anytime Monday.
Morning.
At anytime.
Okay.
Pero the leak no more.
It stopped for right now.
Es que está en una clase ahorita que no nos puede atender. Está en una clase que no nos puede atender.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, guys. Sorry about that. Who'd have thought they'd show up on Friday at 5:15, right? Okay, thanks for being so patient about that. Okay, so bringing your head back to center. Oh, the This is life, right? This is what happens. Okay, gently come off of whatever you're sitting. And let's get a little bit into the low back now. If you want to use the bolster, you're more than welcome to. So, butterfly. I love this one. We're going to do this in a two-part, I think. So first we're going to come into a forward fold, and then we're going to take it into a back bend. So we might be here for a period of time. So get all the things you need for this. You're going to need blocks for sure, the bolster, and then perhaps a blanket. So let's get that ready over here. Okay, so I have all the props ready because we're going to move into it right after. Okay, so you can bring the legs over the bolster if you're using it. And this is a nice little setup. And then you can bring your head forward and be there. Or you can take the posture without any kind of prop. Soles of the feet come together. Again, legs, heels do not need to be super close to the body. They can be moved forward a little bit and then coming into that forward fold. If you wish, you can use blocks on the outsides of your legs for support. If it's just a little too much strain for the hip flexors, if it's just too soft, too sensitive, too much, that's okay. That's what the props are for. So you have your choices on how you're going to take the posture. Let's come into this shape for 4 minutes. So let us get real comfortable into it. We're not going to hold it when we do it again. We're not going to hold it for as long. We don't need to hold the heart openers as long as we do the forward folds. The forward folds, we can be there for a period of time. All right, friends, when you're ready, come into that first depth, because you might take it in stages. You might end up getting deeper in the shape as time goes on, and that's why we end up holding these shapes for a period of time. We just gently allow the body to open up, to do what it needs to do. So breathing here. Letting your body become very still. And you can really get into your breath here. And keep softening through your facial features. Notice if you're clenching your jaw, or if you're holding your fists, or maybe you're grabbing onto your feet very tightly. Can you soft and let go? And if you noticed, you can go deeper. Maybe you notice the chest is getting a little bit closer towards the floor and it feels okay, then let it go. Just kind of soften into the next space, the next step of this shape for you. Remember, we never want to go to the final, like we don't want to keep pushing ourselves where we're going to hurt ourselves. Remember, this is just gently allowing the body to open on its own using gravity in this case, right? You might be sensing some sensations in the outsides of the hips, maybe in the low back, perhaps the inside, the inseams of the legs. So you might be feeling in all 3 of those areas. And it might be this warm, dull, like stretching, right? That warm feeling. I know I'm definitely feeling it right now. So I'm sure you are as well. Take 3 more cycles of breath here. Good. And slowly, slowly begin to roll back up. If you want to give your legs a little rest, then take your hands on the outsides of your knees and just gently bring the knees together. And just straighten the legs, give them a little wiggle, a little shake. We will be bringing our feet back and our legs back into that shape, but now with the use of some props and going the other way with our spine. So just give yourself a little bit more time if you want before we go back into that shape. Take some movement. Betty is feeling that. She's like, yeah, me too. I want some movement. What are you doing? Betty girl, what's she doing, mama? I'm not sure if she's even sure. Okay, so for the setup for Supta Baddha Konasana, so reclined bound angle or cobblers, right? I'm going to take 2 blocks, 1 block at the tall height, 1 at the medium height, and then Betty girl, you want to lay down over here? Come here. Go lay down. You can bring Chicky over there. Here you go. All right, I'm going to take this bolster. I'm going to set it up right in front of the props, right in front of the blocks, at a little bit of an angle. Whoops. And this is why you always want to check your props, because sometimes props fall down. So you always want to make sure they're very secure before you get into them. Okay. Now, since I use my 2 blocks for this setup, I need something else to support my legs. I took that posture, the forward fold, the butterfly forward fold, I took that pretty deep. So I'm really feeling a lot of sensation in my hips still, and I'm going to give them a little bit of a break. So by doing that, I can give them a little break by using my blanket. So I'm going to take my blanket out nice and wide. I'm just going to roll it. Just roll it, roll it, roll it. So I have one long tube like that, right? I'm going to drape it over the tops of my feet. Yes, and then just tuck the tail underneath my ankles, and that's going to feel so amazing. Now, you can totally, absolutely take the shape without any props, okay? That is absolutely a choice. Or maybe if you don't have any props and you have no choice, you need to do it without it, right? Definitely use whatever you have. Pillows, couch cushions, towels, little pillows, anything like that. You can take a stack of cushions and kind of make the same shape as well here. So soles of the feet come together. Again, think about the hip flexors, soften into this space. So you can even bring your hands there and just notice that space where your leg bone meets your pelvis. And just, there they are. Okay. 3 minutes here. I'm going to give you another choice here. Now, we are dealing with grief. Grief is definitely, resides in the lungs, in the heart space. We feel that sensation there. So one of the things about getting into that space is that we don't access it a whole lot in some postures. So we can add the arms here. Anytime you add arms to a posture, it's going to get into the lung meridians. So think traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture. That's what these postures stimulate certain meridian lines in the body. And that's why certain postures are better for certain things, right? Makes sense to me. Okay, so take the arms overhead, clasp elbows, and then you can be here for half the time, and then I'll let you know when you need to switch. So breathing here. Now, if the fingers, the arms start to tingle or go numb, that is your cue to come out of the bind with your arms, and then just let them rest beside you. So keep breathing into your belly here. Keep moving that energy wherever it is stuck. Let it flow. Release all of that energy on your exhales. Notice the floor beneath you, supporting you. Notice whatever props you have. You can just let go and let them do the work while you do this other kind of work. Okay, if you took the arms, take them the other way. Breathing here. Keep breathing into those spaces. Let the breath expand the body. And then gently on an exhale, release your arms if you took that bind. And your choice. You can take the hands again on the outsides of your knees, gently bring the knees together, or you could just begin to straighten one leg at a time along the floor. Just be mindful of any props you've used. Good. And then after you've kind of let your legs come back to life, give them a little wiggle, maybe point and flex of the feet. Good. Maybe circles too. Add some movement in. Yeah, they've been stuck for a minute, so they can move a little bit. Good. A couple choices to come off of your setup. Hands can just come down beneath you and then you press up. Or if you want, maybe bending both knees and then just kind of turn over on one hip and use your arms to support you as you come up. And then let's take this setup off of our mats. And we can get ready to come into the next shapes. How are we feeling so far, everybody? So far, so good? Yes, I'm just going to pop over to the chat. Ah, yes. Oh, Cher, I'm sorry to hear that too. All right. Yeah, it's that time of year where we're getting to, where it's might be the first one without a loved one. So if that's, where you are, you are in a wonderful space to have the support, and I always like to think our loved ones are always with us. They never are very far, and they could be gone for a very long time or a short amount of time. But I think it's that, thinking about them and holding them still in your heart and in your thoughts. That's how you keep them close, right? Aww. Okay, friends, let's go ahead and get into our next space. Or our next shape. So come down to the belly. We're going to take a little sphinx for the low back. Again, and this can really be a nice heart opener as well. So think of it that way too. Definitely getting into the low back for sure, my friends. Okay. So let's do that. If you want to add more to the shape, you're always more than welcome to bring a blanket or a bolster to put more arch in the spine if that feels what you need. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead, come down onto the forearms on the belly, extend the legs behind you. And then depending on how your low back is feeling, those feet might be together or they might come apart. Shoulders or elbows are slightly in front of shoulders. And then again, just kind of settle into your position for your legs. Notice how it's feeling when you bring them further apart or if you bring them together. If the low back is feeling a little tender, then definitely keep some space. Give the feet some space so the low back has some space. All right, friends, and then you can decide how do you want to drop your head, in, up, or just kind of neutral, but let the shoulders go, right? We're not pressing like we normally would, like in a hatha class. We're not pressing into the palms, pressing in the forearms and really, arching. We're just kind of sinking a little bit. So really getting into the soft tissues of the spine. So let's put ourselves here for, I've already been here for a minute, but let's time it for 3. So let's do that. 3 minutes right here in our Sphinx. And then depending on what's going on in your shoulders and your back, that's how I want you to make your choice for your head. Don't forget to breathe here. Notice that breath in your body. For me, this is a very easy way to make that mind, body, breath connection here, because I can actually feel my body moving with my breath. A little bit easier this way for me to feel it, to sense it, than in some other postures. Nice, smooth, even breathing here. And if for the last 30 seconds, if you want a little bit more, press into your palms. Begin to straighten the arms, come up into the seal. But try to soften in some of those spaces that want to harden and clench. Can we really kind of just stay with our soft tissue? Can we let the muscles relax a little bit? Breathe. Good. And then as you exhale, slowly lower whichever position you are in, whether if you came into seal or if you are still in Sphinx, just come down, make a little pillow with the backs of your hands, rest your forehead, and just breathe. Let's get a little bit more into the neck here. We're going to take just a really short pause here for the neck. Bring your arms alongside you and then turn your head one way. Let your head come down. If you feel like you need some support, you can slide a thin pillow or maybe, half a blanket roll or tuck under the head. And then we're just going to breathe here for about 10 cycles of breath, and then we'll go to the other side. And let your shoulders just kind of roll down to the floor. Breathe here. That's all we're doing is breathing. What parts of your body do you feel lifting away from the floor when you take that inhale? Good. All right, slowly inhale, turn your head to center, and exhale, turn the other way. Again, about 10 cycles of breath with the head the other way. When you are ready, carefully bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself back into a child's pose. This is the pose we're going to be in for about 2 minutes. If anything is going on with the knees, if this is just too much to be on the knees like this, then come onto your back, hug your knees in towards your chest. So just think of it, same thing, but the orientation, right? We've just flipped it on our back. But if you're joining me, carefully bring yourself down. If you want to bring the knees closer together, right? We just did Sphinx. We did a little bit of a counter pose, but this is the bigger counter pose that I wanted to get to. So if the low back is feeling tender from Sphinx, bring the knees together. Let the thighs support your chest as you come down. We're going to be here for 3 minutes. But if you feel like you're okay, maybe take the knees a little wider apart and then bring the chest down in between. Forehead comes to the earth. And again, breathing here. This is a nice compression for the belly. So if you've had anything going on in the belly, indigestion or just gas, just things moving, grumbling, bring yourself down into a child's pose. Of course, if you have anything else, right, anything a little bit stronger, then I would not advise you to come in a child's pose. Okay. Breathing here. Just letting gravity do all the work here. All right, friends, when you are ready, just carefully bring your hands underneath your shoulders and then slowly begin to bring yourself up. Oh, wow. That felt way longer than 3 minutes. Did that feel longer than 3 minutes for you? That was lovely. That was like almost a shavasana for me. Amazing. Okay. Now, one more posture before we get to the final thing. So we're going to take our twist here. I am offering a single-legged reclined twist. If you would like double knee, that's totally fine. Or if you want something a little bit deeper, if you want to take that twisted roots or like eagle legs, wrapping once, maybe twice, feel free. If you need any things, if you need any supports, I like to use a nice little blanket when I just bring my knee over. If my knee just doesn't quite make it to the floor, I want to have something underneath it. Plus it's soft too, so that's always a bonus. If you need something a little bit thicker, right, use a bolster, another great alternative, and it makes it almost even more like a restorative posture as well. So depending on where you want to take it, that is what I'm offering tonight. So however you're taking your twist, come down to your back, hug both knees in. Now I'm going to start with my left leg straight and just carefully, just keeping my right knee hugged in. Hi, mama. What you doing? Okay. Gently bring your knee across your body, right? And support yourself, right? So make sure that right, well, apparently I need something thicker tonight myself. So I'm going to be using my bolster, and I think this is going to be amazing. So make sure that shoulder is grounded as you take your twist. I am going to time these twists today. So we're going to be in each side for 2 minutes. So make sure it's a twist it's going to feel comfortable to be in for that length of time. And like I said, use the props. And then maybe as time goes on, you can take the props away. And I got a cuckoo dog right now. Oh, mama. You got all excited about getting close to the end of class? Good girl. And just breathe here. Try to think about all of the small little muscles, around your spine. Just try to think about those softening and think about the twist really happening even deeper. Think about that twist happening in the spine. And breathe into that area wherever you're feeling the sensations. All right, friends. Side one is complete. Carefully come to your back. And if you want to realign your spine, sometimes I like to just kind of set my feet down and then lift my hips a little bridge and then bring my hips back down. Just so I feel like I'm straight again and I'm not starting off in like a twisted state. Okay, right leg is straight, left knee hugs in. Exhale as you hug it in. Take one more inhale. Exhale, draw that left knee across your body. Let it rest on something. Or like I said, if you're taking the twisted roots, you're twisting your legs up. Or if you're taking both knees to the same side. Left shoulder now is grounded. And you decide where you're going to look. Maybe it feels more comfortable to have the head facing the ceiling. Maybe you're turning it towards the extended palm or in the same direction as your knee. And try to soften into those areas where you might be holding on to. Can you identify those areas? Notice it and then make the adjustment. This is practicing our mindfulness. Paying attention to what we're doing when we're doing it. Right? How many times have we driven someplace and not remembered the drive and you just arrive? That's a little scary, right? I've done that many, many times. But I have to tell you, it doesn't happen a lot anymore. You know, once you start practicing mindfulness, you can apply it anywhere, anytime, all the time. Then you're more present in your life and you don't feel like you're on autopilot. And you feel like you're actually conscious and making decisions with awareness, right? That's what we want, for sure. Hey, Mama. Keep breathing here. Keep softening into the shape. Begin to deepen your breath. And then as you exhale, just roll to your back. Again, if you want to hug your knees in towards your chest, or if you want to give yourself a little lift, a little bridge, we will come down to our final posture of the evening for our Shavasana. Betty, are you going to get out of the way? Are you going to come join me? Or are you going to lay over there with Chicky? Come here, Mama. Come on, lay down. Come on. Come on, lay down. All right, friends. So, however you choose to arrange yourself, maybe you're going to use that bolster, or maybe you're going to use some pillows or blankets. But whatever you have, make sure it's where you want it. I'm going to take that blanket under my head because I think that's just going to feel amazing. And it does. And you could bring your palms to rest on your belly or alongside your body. Allow your eyes to close or at least soften. The flat part of your skull is on the mat and your face is looking towards the sky. You're going to let go of any controlled breathing and just return to your natural, normal breathing pattern. Begin to deepen your breath. And gently rock your head again side to side. And bring some movement to your hands and to your feet. And then inhale, reach your arms overhead. Take a full body stretch. And when you're ready, carefully come up to a comfortable seat. Okay. Wonderful. All right, friends, thank you so much for joining. Your donations, again, are always greatly appreciated and accepted. So, as a yoga teacher, I do include this as part of my income. So, your donations, like as if we were taking a regular class, like think about how much you would pay if you were walking into a studio right now for a yin practice. I know in Vegas, they're anywhere from $15, $20, $25, $30 for a drop in. So obviously we're not, doing that kind of a scale, but if you're ever so inclined to, you're more than welcome to. But just thinking about how many practitioners are on here, in Los Angeles, we would have anywhere from like 20, 30, 40 people in a physical studio class. So I know teachers don't get compensated for each person in a class, but if they were, right, that'd be crazy money. But but it's not, unfortunately, right? Usually it's like a standard rate, and then sometimes, depending on the studio, they would pay like $1 per head more, or however much that was, right? It's all different, but again, your donations are greatly appreciated, so I appreciate that. Let's close our practice on the inhale. Arms up and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, bringing down all of that divine universal energy to your heart centers. And that divine universal energy vibrates as the frequency of love through which you and I and all sentient beings are connected on this planet. The light in me salutes and honors the light in all of you, my friends. Namaste. Thank you so much. And let's do it again next Friday, 5 p.m. for Yin.